All right, Cowboys Nation. Today we are diving deep into everything you need to know about the Dallas Cowboys and some of the potential moves they might be considering, particularly when it comes to the backfield and trade scenarios. Week 1 is always a tricky time to evaluate, and when you start looking at running backs and possible trades, the picture gets even murkier. Fans have been buzzing about whether the Cowboys should pursue a running back, and there's been plenty of chatter about names like Jaden Blue and Maisie Smith. The question really comes down to trust and consistency. If the coaching staff isn't fully confident in a player like Jaden Blue, it's hard to imagine they would feel any better about bringing in someone like Miles Sanders or Javonte Williams, especially given the performances we saw in Week 1. When you break down those early games, the results don't necessarily make the situation easier. We've seen players like Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, Travis Etienne, and others frequently discussed as trade targets. Some are elite talents, others more middle of the pack, and some could be available at the right price, but might not offer the kind of impact you're hoping for. Week 1 brought a mix of outcomes. Jonathan Taylor did what he does best for the Colts, showcasing why he is such a reliable presence, while Breece Hall clearly led the Jets' backfield with 19 carries for 107 yards and a touchdown, but also saw some less impressive numbers in short carries. Travis Etienne looked sharp for Jacksonville, showing flashes of the player who has been so highly anticipated, while other backs struggled to make a significant mark. This paints a complicated picture for trade considerations. If the top-tier backs are performing well and their teams are winning or near winning, acquiring them becomes a question of cost and strategy. 2 first-round picks could theoretically sway a deal, but that might be a significant overpay for a one-year rental, which is not ideal. For the other backs who struggled in Week 1, like Jerome Ford, Antonio Gibson, or Damon Pierce, the question shifts to whether bringing them in would actually improve the team's prospects. Their performances were underwhelming, and the upside might be limited. This is the kind of delicate situation that forces teams to weigh available options carefully rather than make a hasty move. On the Cowboys' current roster, Javonte Williams showed some promise against the tough Eagles defense. His success rate, particularly in short yardage situations, matters more than raw yards per carry, demonstrating his efficiency in converting necessary downs. Meanwhile, the concerns about fumbles and situational awareness remain, underscoring the fact that consistency and reliability are key considerations for any team looking to solidify its backfield. Kenneth Walker III's situation in Seattle is another interesting case. He seems to be trailing Zach Charbonnet on the depth chart, which might shift trade discussions later in the season rather than immediately. Week 1 snap counts reflect a committee approach, and efficiency has declined over the past few seasons, which complicates his potential value to another team looking for immediate impact. With so few running backs available in September who could make a meaningful difference, the Cowboys' front office faces a strategic challenge in assessing risk, potential contribution, and long-term impact versus a short-term solution. Turning to the defensive side, Maisie Smith has generated conversation as a potential trade candidate. He was a healthy scratch in Week 1, and questions about his consistency and daily competitive effort have surfaced. Reports suggest that while he is capable of playing a high level, his consistency has not yet matched his potential. For a player in his 3rd year, a make-or-break season, these signals are concerning. The Cowboys could potentially benefit from trading him, not just from a roster perspective, but financially as well, saving nearly $2 million in salary while moving him off the books. However, evaluating his trade value, teams might not pay top dollar given the concerns about effort and development. Current projections suggest a mid to late draft pick might be more realistic, reflecting the balance of potential upside versus uncertainty. The discussion of wide receiver depth brings Jalen Tolbert into focus. Some analysts have floated the idea of trading him, especially considering injuries and suspensions impacting other teams' receiving core. While Tolbert didn't make a huge impact in Week 1, he still provides depth across multiple positions and contributes on special teams, which is valuable in maintaining overall roster flexibility. Decisions here hinge on potential return versus the benefits of keeping a versatile player on the roster. Balancing immediate need with long-term development is critical, especially when evaluating whether to move players like Tolbert or Smith. In summary, the Cowboys are navigating a complex landscape of performance evaluation, trade potential, and roster management. Week 1 has provided insights, but it also raises questions about who is truly ready to contribute at a high level and who might be better suited for a trade scenario. Running backs, wide receivers, and defensive talent all come with a mix of potential and risk, and making the right call requires carefully weighing performance metrics, team needs, and future flexibility. The focus remains on building a team capable of sustained success while being strategic in how assets are deployed, whether through trades, developing young talent, or leveraging depth across the roster. Now, Cowboys Nation, let's dig even deeper into the roster dynamics and potential moves the team might be exploring, particularly when it comes to enhancing the backfield and optimizing player contributions across the board. Week 1 performances give us a glimpse, but the real evaluation is in how players respond in the coming weeks and how the Cowboys front office plans to navigate trade opportunities without overpaying or taking unnecessary risks. Javonte Williams, for instance, displayed glimpses of his potential against the Eagles, converting key short-yardage situations efficiently and showing a success rate that may not shine in total yardage but demonstrates his reliability in critical downs. This is the kind of detail that the coaching staff will likely weigh heavily when deciding whether to pursue external running back options or continue developing internal talent. The challenge lies in identifying a player who can offer immediate impact without costing the team too much in draft capital or future considerations. Breece Hall and Travis Etienne, for example, showcased strong Week 1 performances for their respective teams. Hall led the Jets effectively, but his team's near miss against the Steelers raises questions about how much of his production translates into game-changing advantage for a potential trade partner. Etienne looked sharp for Jacksonville, but with a winning team, the likelihood of securing a trade becomes complicated, often requiring a high overpay that might not align with long-term roster strategy. On the flip side, players like Jerome Ford, Antonio Gibson, and Damon Pierce may be more accessible for a trade, but their Week 1 outputs were underwhelming. The question is whether acquiring a player of that profile truly strengthens the Cowboys or merely fills a roster spot with limited upside. This tension between immediate need and strategic patience is at the heart of the front office's challenge. Shifting focus to defensive considerations, Mazi Smith's situation is particularly intriguing. Listed as a potential trade candidate following a healthy scratch in Week 1, Smith's inconsistency raises both concerns and opportunities. While he has the capability to contribute at a high level, questions about effort, competition in practice, and his readiness to perform consistently may suppress his trade value. The Cowboys could save nearly $2 million in salary and potentially free up roster flexibility by moving him, but teams evaluating a trade would likely consider a mid-to-late round draft pick as fair compensation given the uncertainty surrounding his development and competitive consistency. Balancing these financial and roster considerations with team performance goals is essential in making a smart move. Wide receiver depth, particularly regarding Jalen Tolbert, adds another layer to this complex evaluation. While Tolbert didn't shine in Week 1, his versatility across positions and contributions on special teams provide tangible value. Trade discussions here revolve around potential returns. Would moving him provide an upgrade at another position, or does keeping him as a multi-role contributor better serve team objectives? Injuries and suspensions elsewhere in the league create opportunities, but they also demand caution. Trading away depth without a clear return could jeopardize roster balance if unforeseen injuries occur, highlighting the need for strategic foresight. When assessing trade value, the Cowboys must weigh multiple variables: immediate impact, positional needs, roster flexibility, and financial implications. Running backs like Kenneth Walker III, currently trailing Zach Charbonnet in Seattle, may become trade options later in the season rather than immediately. His declining efficiency over recent years, combined with Seattle's committee approach, means that any trade would need careful timing and negotiation to maximize value. Meanwhile, the front office is tasked with evaluating not just the statistics, but also the situational effectiveness, practice habits, and long-term potential of players on the roster. Week 1 data provide the starting point, but the bigger picture emerges through observation, analytics, and strategic planning. The overarching goal remains constructing a team capable of sustained success while being shrewd in resource allocation, whether through trades, developing talent internally, or leveraging depth across the roster. Every decision, from trading a running back to managing wide receiver depth, requires balancing performance, potential, and risk, ensuring that short-term moves do not undermine long-term objectives. Cowboys fans can expect these discussions to intensify as the season progresses, with trade considerations, player performance, and roster adjustments becoming central to the conversation. The team's leadership is focused on finding value in every transaction while maintaining flexibility and competitiveness. In addition, the coaching staff will continue to evaluate player contributions on a week-to-week basis, considering not only in-game performance, but also practice habits, consistency, and adaptability. Players like Javonte Williams exemplify the nuances of this evaluation. He may not rack up massive yardage totals, but his efficiency and success in key situations signal reliability that may influence future roster decisions. Similarly, assessing potential acquisitions involves analyzing how a new player fits into the team's existing schemes, complements current personnel, and contributes to overall competitiveness. With the season still young, the Cowboys have the advantage of time to observe trends, make calculated decisions, and position themselves for both immediate and long-term success. Patience, strategic thinking, and a clear understanding of roster needs will define the team's approach as trade discussions evolve and player evaluations continue. Fans should keep a close eye on emerging opportunities, particularly in the running back and wide receiver core, as well as defensive positions where consistency and effort can significantly affect outcomes. The interplay between performance metrics, situational effectiveness, and long-term potential is central to every decision, ensuring that moves are made not only to fill gaps, but to enhance the team's competitive edge. Ultimately, the goal is to build a roster that is resilient, adaptable, and capable of sustaining success throughout the season while maintaining flexibility for future strategic moves. The Cowboys front office and coaching staff face a delicate balancing act, maximizing current performance while planning for sustained competitiveness, carefully evaluating both internal talent and external trade opportunities, and ensuring every move aligns with the team's overarching objectives. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. In a move that has sent shockwaves through the NFL, whispers around the league are now pointing to a dramatic shakeup in Dallas. The Cowboys could be setting their sights on a quarterback who might redefine their offense, Jared Goff. The chatter started quietly, but insiders suggest that discussions behind closed doors have been heating up over the past few weeks. Fans in Dallas are buzzing with speculation, and social media is ablaze with reactions ranging from disbelief to cautious optimism. Goff, known for his calm demeanor and ability to make quick reads, has had a roller coaster career, but the idea of him leading the Cowboys has sparked a wave of excitement in some corners of the sports world. Analysts are debating how he might fit into the high-powered offense the team has been trying to stabilize. Some say Goff's precision passing and experience could be exactly what Dallas needs to finally make a deep playoff run. Others, however, are skeptical, questioning whether this would be a bold masterstroke or a gamble that could backfire. Rumors suggest that conversations between Goff's camp and the Cowboys front office have been ongoing for weeks, and sources claim both sides are intrigued by the possibilities. Could this be the start of a new era in Dallas? The Cowboys management has been tight-lipped, but insiders hint that an official announcement might not be far off, adding fuel to the speculation. The thought of Goff under center at AT&T Stadium has already sparked a frenzy among fans, with jersey sales predicted to skyrocket if the deal materializes. While nothing is confirmed, the mere suggestion of Jared Goff joining the Cowboys is enough to dominate NFL discussions. Pundits are weighing potential trades, draft implications, and offensive schemes, while fans are dreaming of playoff glory. Whether this is just another off-season rumor or the beginning of a headline-grabbing reality remains to be seen. But one thing is certain. The Cowboys rumor mill is roaring louder than ever. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.